when in Australia they actually removed, during negative gearing removal from 1985 to 1987, rents surged in tighter markets. So we've mentioned
double-digit growth in rents when we've removed negative gearing. Look at New Zealand. They introduced this little as 3 years ago. It lasted, just over 12 months. And then they changed their tune around it because it had a detrimental impact to the market.
I think this is the key things that we're looking at from a historical standpoint in Australia and also neighbouring countries where it's shown little impact from a house price perspective and actually more from a impact on those renters as well.
Yeah, and markets will find a way to work themselves out. And unfortunately, I just got off the call to a financial advisor, very sophisticated in this space, and pretty much said there'll be ways that we'll be able to exploit this. There'll be ways that the smart money, he said previously when negative gearing was removed, we could do a lot through trusts and you could lend through trusts and then you could still get a benefit. We may look at buying properties through companies. So the smart money will find a way to get a benefit. But you've made those that they're trying to arguably help, which is typically middle class or lower class, you're going to make it extremely difficult. They're going to have to go and pay for advice, get more educated in the ways that they can start to look at to get a benefit. So straight away, you're hurting the people that you're trying to help. So it's, we'll find a way, and we'll have someone on our podcast hopefully soon to how our clients can probably exploit this. But don't try to handicap those that are actually trying to get ahead, but also don't handicap those that are finding it difficult to already find a rental property by reducing the amount of stock in the market. And I know they're saying they're going to continue negative gearing on new property to try to create more supply. Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. You're just going to encourage the wrong activity. What happened in Brisbane? You get a run of, apartment and poor quality stock come to the market where people are whipping up apartments, low spec, had all the issues with flammable product. It's going to be a flight to who can solve this issue in the cheapest way they can do so, and typically it's going to flood to that apartment stock, and who ends up with terrible outcomes? It's typically the consumer.
Yeah. We've focused a lot here on the everyday Australian that is that renter that's going to affect them the worst, as we've said.
And that's who they're meant to be out to help, right? They get support from the Greens. The Greens are all pro renters. That's who they're meant to be helping. How can you be so short-sighted to see, okay, if I reduce a benefit for investors, there's not going to be more investors to participate. And where else do we get investment properties from? We're not like America where there's large institutes that have thousands of build-to-rent. Australia hasn't, the take-up of build-to-rent has been really poor. And now they're trying to, incentivize build-to-rent. So, okay, let's make it easier for large corporations to provide stock. No, how about you just help everyday Australian to bring on more stock?